Welcome in everybody to WTBU Sports' last minute NBA preview. Ethan, Sam, and Alex Cohen here. We're excited to kind of break down the last possible storylines, thoughts on different places in the NBA before the season kicks off. And for a lot of you, this will probably be the last NBA preview that you listen to. So this is where you got to be. How are you two doing today?
Doing pretty good. Just excited to have some NBA basketball. Oh wow, it's like really about it. Like it
We're
hasn't set
here, man.
in. Like we're about to be watching some NBA basketball in like a little
Mhm.
bit.
Yeah, last night I had a good night before Christmas. I couldn't sleep. I was thinking about, different like props. I'm thinking about rookies. I'm thinking about just all sorts of stuff. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
and that's one of the most exciting parts about this year. It's a nerve-wracking part too, is that there's so much unknown, especially like we think about the rookies too. Like there's so much unknown with the
Hmm.
rookie class and how COVID and the short preparation, but also the extended preparation too, is like how does that even translate to a court? And
Absolutely.
preseason, like obviously got a little bit, but it was shorter than even usual. So yeah, do we want to start there? I mean, I know you two want to talk rookies. We talked about this off air, but um, I guess I wanna throw this out first to Alex because actually I've always meant to ask you this off air. Do you rather us refer to you as Budum or Alex
Hmm.
in the
Uh,
WTF context?
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like I guess like the sports online personality is like Buddha,
Mhm.
but like I don't really care. Also, I
Okay.
feel like
I don't know.
like
I feel like you have more of a name to live up to then.
what?
You have more of a name to live up to then. You got high expectations.
Yeah, so maybe this could be Alex. Maybe this is more laid back. It's Alex Cohen. I don't have to put the Wooden brand on the line. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
And I
know.
mean, since this won't be all Knicks. We'll do our fair share of Knicks, but
Yeah.
that way we can kind of spread it out. But anyway, first question to you is kind of Knicks related, because you and the Knicks are one of the few teams that had multiple first round picks. Um, how has
True.
that gone from your perspective? Even before the draft, I was a huge Quickly guy, so I'm psyched that he looks so good.
Yeah, same. I mean, quickly is. I mean, we're just talking about like before drafting stuff. I mean, I always like not to like not just be completely like hindsight or whatever. I was kind of weirded out that he wasn't highly more highly touted. Like it just
Agreed.
like you factor in like Kentucky hiding guys or whatever and showing how good they actually are. Like, Devin Booker and like Cat's stats like aren't even that good. And then you have like a dude that shot 43% on threes and 93% from the line and
Yeah.
averaged an efficient 16 points per game. It's like, and then in every board, it wasn't like he was like, he was like the 50th pick on a lot of them,
Mhm.
unranked. So, I mean, I was always weirded by that. He's like, you look at every like decent Kentucky player, they normally like if they're good at Kentucky, they do as good or better.
Mhm.
So I I I was already like kind of quickly gang. I didn't like expect him to be that high a pick regardless. Like I thought he might be like our like second pick, like our second round pick, which I would have liked. But I mean, I don't know. So far, it's hard to like not completely just drink the quickly juice. He's
The Kool-Aid.
yeah, like he literally is everything, in these like not even 4 preseason games. He didn't even play the first one, which was dumb. But in these 3 preseason games, he's been like everything the Knicks have like wanted for so long. Not even that he's necessarily gonna be good, but like he's at least confirmed to be a young point guard that can like shoot, pass, and is fast. And
Absolutely.
that alone is just something like the Knicks don't have. It's always like they can't shoot or like they're slow. Like I'm so sick of the Knicks having like young players that like are slow, like Frank, Knox, and RJ. Like not one is like quick.
Or just like a point guard who's an idiot, and just
What?
like, or just like a point guard who's an idiot and like doesn't pass and isn't athletic. I feel like that's
Yeah.
just
So
that's
I
just
mean, the question with quickly is like, is he a point guard? Which like I won't sit here and be like I knew he definitely was one, but like he definitely like after seeing for a bit, like he's at least decent at point guard. Like he can play point guard and like so that alone makes him like very excited about it. The fact that like I think already I don't have to worry about him not being a point guard is pretty
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, and he's such a good, and I think I remember thinking about this during the draft. He's such the theory of what Quickly is is such a perfect fit next to RJ Barrett. Like because RJ like can be your lead ball handler and he can pass fairly well. He like obviously turns the ball over a lot too, but he's a good passer and can like create his own shot more than Quickly can. Like Quickly's not gonna go get his own bucket anywhere on the court, but Barrett can pass the ball and kind of run the offense, or you have Quickly right there who's going to make the smart decision and be a way better shooter than RJ Barrett's ever going to be. And like I feel like they complement each other so well as long as they develop.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean that's kind of what it comes down to. Like Quickly, like even if Quickly sinks, the theory of Quickly is like the principle of Quickly is so like perfect for like what the Knicks have needed in general, and just a perfect fit overall. Like I mean, like I don't know, the like complementary fit used to be Frank in that role of like, all right, like a decent point guard that can't really point guard, but like now we got that and he can shoot too.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he has opened so much up. Just the theory of him.
I think he
Like just because
what's his face? He compliments Knox really well too. I mean, I was just watching. I mean, like Knox. I've never seen Knox so happy to be playing with the guy before and getting all these open shots in the corner and not like having to be asked so much.
yeah, it's like he could just from the fact he can actually shoot and he's like capable and wants to pass is huge. Like I don't know. Like it's like I'm trying to temper myself because like it's 3 preseason games and it was against like the worst teams ever and like the depleted version of the Cavs. But like he's literally I don't know, like he does so many things that like are good that even if he doesn't continue doing them well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I love everything about him. He's like, I study like James Harden and Lou Williams, like learn how to draw fouls. Like he's like a grifter. Like I love that.
Yeah, it's great. And then I guess I'll send it to Sam next because you in our group chat have been really hyping up Denny Avdia on the Washington Wizards 9th overall pick, which honestly felt like he kind of slipped in the draft to them. I know he was supposed to go around the top 5, so he's someone that a lot of people are excited about. You're definitely excited about him. As that kind of rookie of choice for you, what do you like so much about him, and what do you think he can do this season?
Well, first off, I really like his odds to win Rookie of the Year. I think it's around plus 2,000 right now.
Wow.
And after watching the preseason, it might be plus 2,000. It might have moved. I don't know. The source I have is, but it might have moved after his preseason games because these preseason games, I was telling y'all, like I was just in love. This kid, he's like he's got post games, he can pass, he's confident. Like it almost like he had like just like a tiny bit of just like some Luka swagger in him, especially with the playmaking. And also just like
line buzzer beater thing.
Yeah, totally. And also like he's a member of the tribe, and you know we need good members of the community.
Yeah.
After legends like Omri Caspi, we need legends to improve the like.
Mikel didn't get it done. Dude, I was on draft night. I just like once that it was like just down like Denny and Obi. I was just like, bring me the Jew. Like I wanted to like that was so amazing. Have like a Jew in New York.
Yeah, that'd be perfect on the Knicks too. Come on.
Yeah,
perfect. Get some bagels. Go to all the delis in New York. Be perfect.
Oh my god! I mean, we have had so much fun with Denny being a Knick.
Obviously, so like it's interesting, just like how much like stuff like that can affect draft stock, like like just being international prospect. Like how much you think like that affected him, and like how much like because Quickly is like 21, right? Like I don't like how much did that affect his draft stock? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what affected Quickly the most was the whole point guard thing. The fact he's like 6'3", even though like he has a big wingspan. Like I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like every gripe against Quickly is weird. I think it was just like he's considered to be a 6'3" off ball guard. It's like and he's 21, which is already kind of like all proven to be silly outside of the 21 thing, which isn't really, that's not like that's not Obi Toppin territory. Who's already qualifies for the vet minimum.
What are the odds for Quickly to win Rookie of the Year? That's gotta be
before they're like plus 5,000. I think they might have lessened by now.
I have to look into that, man.
You could still make serious bank on
That's a fun one, yeah. Okay, and so these are two rookies that we're keeping an eye on. And I guess I'll throw a question out at you, and I'll try and toss in a bunch of these award prediction type of questions. If you had to pick, let's say, rookie of the year pick and steal of the draft pick,
Mhm.
who would you each go with right now?
For me, my rookie of the year pick, I just tweeted on my predictions thing, is I'm kind of riding the Wiseman train. Not even that I'm necessarily like Mr. Wiseman. It's just that like if like I don't know. I mean, we saw how Steph and Draymond kind of create so many perfect opportunities like for like the Andrew Bogut's and Kevon Looney's of the world over the years, and it's just like he's he's 7'1", he's like a freak athlete, and then you have like Draymond lighting a fire under his ass, and the Seth gravity, and like if he's starting, and like they seem to love him in training camp, like
He's
all
starting tonight.
Yep.
he's starting.
That's what there was a
Wow.
Warriors writer that said he is.
He was
all right.
doing this today.
So yeah, all of that, and considering the fact they're like acting like he's the second coming of David Robinson in training camp, like it's kind of like I feel like the counting stats should be there. Like, is this kind of like he has a great situation to both like be on the spotlight and like do well. So that's my rookie of the year pick.
Fair.
Honestly, like I think I could go two birds, one stone here, and honestly, like I could go with Halliburton as the steal and rookie of the year.
Yeah.
On it, like for me with awards, like I like the two things I look at it is just like, are you gonna get the stats for it, and are you gonna have the narrative for it as well? And so like when I'm looking at these rookies, I'm just seeing like who's gonna start and who's gonna be talked about a lot. Like LaMelo's gonna get a lot of minutes. So is and now we know Wiseman is, like we didn't know. So, I mean, I definitely think Halliburton is going to be a big steal. I don't know if he's going to start. If I had to choose one today, I mean, I'd probably just go safe pick and just like go with like a LaMelo or an Edwards or a Wiseman, just because like I know they're starting and people are paying attention to them. But man, like watching after Halliburton's first game, he's just that guy where you watch the first game, you're just like, how the F did you drop to like 12? Like this is crazy. Like you could like end up being the best player in this whole class. So yeah, I would say he's my sleeper pick, and probably just some of the top three guys for rookie of the year.
For my sleeper pick, I already did this on BU TV. I chose Kyra to the Pelicans because I mean I would have taken him at 8 if I was the Knicks, solely off the fact that like he only played like a minute in preseason to like get me a little riled up, like it's going solely off a shaky preseason appearance.
Mhm.
I'll switch my pick. Well, also a pick I thought anyway. Also based off preseason is our boy Denny. I mean that's still pretty late from a drop number 9. I mean that was a guy who was supposed to go like 4, and like I didn't get I'll say like my Denny take now besides just like the Knicks I didn't say before. Like I don't know. I mean I think he's just like a very solid player, and like he's kind of a perfect, maybe not a perfect fit, but I mean to start off next to like Beal and Westbrook as like a facilitator role, and like like the Otto Porter of the future, like I don't know. I mean he like I think he should be pretty good. Like I mean I don't think he's necessarily great. He's like he's pretty good at most things. So I think that could easily be the steal of the draft. Him off 9.
Like also he got to like play against like I mean this was like the Luka argument, right? Like he got to play against grown men for
Oh wait,
3 years.
I kind of want to change my pick to Devin Vassell because that's also my boy, and going off preseason he's been cooking like even more than would have expected. So that's my other. I mean it's kind of weird because I'm kind of weirdly thinking like every guy I picked from like 9 to 13 whatever is like gonna be good. And
I think
probably won't happen, but
I mean there's so many like. And the thing with Denny too is the knock on him has been the shooting, and obviously like it doesn't look great right now, but that's something that you can just kind of work out, and it might take a couple of years for him to really be like an efficient shooter, but it's something you can do, and that's the same with the person I picked as rookie of the year, which is Isaac Okoro, just because I think he's going to be one, a better scorer than he showed at Auburn. 2, he's going to be a great defender, and I think the Cavs are going to need him a lot more because I don't really buy their backcourt. So I think Okoro is going to like actually come in and be there. He might, outside of someone like Andre Drummond, he might come in and be their second best player, which is weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a lot of the shooting things, and there are plenty of players in this class where it's like they are athletic, high IQ, like great defenders, great everywhere else except for shooting. But also, you've had so much time to practice shooting in the off season. Like you could easily come in and be way better than your college film showed. So
And
that's
with no fans, you could say that shooting's gonna be way easier with
yeah, yeah, exactly.
From what we've seen, like posts there, the draft was based on, both Denny and Okoro have already looked so much better shooting.
Yeah.
And Denny, those like final, like Israel games after the hiatus, his three all of a sudden looked way better. It looked pretty good in preseason. And Okoro like already has like made like as many threes in like one game as he did in all of Auburn, and like that looked smooth too. So.
Yeah.
He just looked strong, man. I liked him. I liked him a lot. He just looked NBA ready.
Yeah, he does. So I guess because we're trying to keep this moving, any last important rookie thoughts that you guys have that you want to hit on, or we can move to kind of more. I know we're going to talk extensions too, because that really was the big storyline of the last couple days.
Absolutely.
We can get to that too.
I don't think I have any.
Watch out for my boy, aka Big PP, Peyton Pritchard. He's looking to tear up the league real soon. Yeah.
I guess my final rookie thought is that I have not been a big LaMelo guy, and the preseason did not change my mind yet. Like, and that's acknowledging that like he has the passing magic, but like everything else is still a concern. And like if everything is still a concern, then like I don't know how good you could be even with like magic passing. But,
Yep.
So that's my rookie take. That, like, I still need to see like everything from LaMelo improve despite the crazy passing.
I mean, the form hasn't changed at all. Like even in the highlight videos, you're watching him shoot with two hands still.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of changed it where like he doesn't jump now. So I guess that's like still not great, but at least it's like more simplified. Like he definitely is doing like he would jump and like click his heels. So at least he's like not doing that, I think. But like it's still like a standstill shot, with the two hands. So it's kind of weird.
All right, let's go to extensions then. I feel like I kind of lost track of everything that happened yesterday because it was all at the last minute. And I know Sam has been interested in the extension talks. So I guess before we get to the rookie ones, I think the other notable one this past like 3 or 4 days was the Rudy Gobert max, which obviously like it wasn't a super max, but it was still I think 5 years, 205 million for a guy who's pretty old and is obviously a very talented player, one of the best defensive players in the league, but isn't someone who is going to lead you to a championship. I feel like that's not a hot take to say.
I could agree with that.
Yeah. So I guess to start, what do you make of the Rudy Gobert extension? And do you think that'll handicap the Jazz down the road, or do you think it's not something they have to worry about?
I mean, I don't know if it'll handicap them, but like they'll probably just be more of, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of just expecting them to be the same old Jazz. I don't know. I'm kind of like thinking of like Stockton and Malone. And like it's kind of like a worse version where like I don't know, they may just be stuck in kind of similarly in competence where except like Gobert is not Karl Malone. Like like I don't know. Like it's kind of weird. It's hard for me to like hate on like paying Rudy because like he definitely is very good. I'm hashtag team screen assist. Like everyone knocks him and is like screen assists are fake. Like no, like we need to put some respect on the screen assists. But at the same time, like there's very blatantly like a limit to how much impact Rudy Gobert is happening. I mean, just look at like the bubble. This was his first playoffs ever where the Jazz were better with him on the court or had a positive plus minus with him on the court, which is pretty insane.
That is great.
And like the Nuggets are scoring at will. So if like your main shtick is like your defense and you're not bringing that to the table and like you're not good enough offensively to even like consistently own Nikola Jokic, like I don't know. I mean that's a lot to give so much money to. Like so I don't know. I'm kind of weirdly like I'm high on it to the extent that like they're gonna still be very good. Rudy Gobert is like generally pretty good, but like yeah, I mean that's not like if he's your second best player, like that's not good.
Yeah. Most of the because like if you want to go far, you need to have two creators. You need to have two very good people who can make shots in the playoffs. And if one of the guys you're paying $200 million to do that can't really do that, I don't think it's probably the best move. Especially like when you can, like the Celtics a couple years ago, like their defense wasn't the best, and they brought in Horford one year, then they brought in Baines the next year, and that like tremendously improved their interior defense. I know Horford's a max contract, but what I'm just trying to say is you can find these guys that can get 85 to 90% of this like elite rim protection that Gobert provides. But then also you look at it and like you said, Alex, like you're playing Jokic, who can play 20 feet away from the basket. You're playing Anthony Davis, who can play 20 feet away from the basket. Now Serge Ibaka is on the Clippers, who can also play 20 feet from the basket. And like, I know Gobert isn't, especially on switches and when he's out of the paint, isn't even the most effective guy.
I mean, like even on the Clippers, like you said Ibaka, but like Ivica Zubac is like kind of an elite like rim protector type guy, and like he's only making $7 million a year, which is at the same time like that's definitely like a steal contract, but still like I don't like he like Ivica Zubac is like pretty good in that role, and not pay that like I don't know, like it's just so much for that type of role. Like the Knicks are like a contentious point about Knicks fans, like whether to pay Mitchell Robinson. That wouldn't be more than like $20 million.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's no way Rudy Gobert is I don't know. I don't know. There's no way Rudy Gobert is like twice as good as Mr. Robinson, like 4 times as good as Ivica Zubac, like in a playoff setting, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's how it's tough. And then I'll send this one to Sam. Looking at the rookie extensions now, do you have a best and worst rookie deal so far that you've seen? And there have been quite a few, and some of them are pretty hefty. Like guys
Totally.
are 20+ million off some of these rookie extensions. And I don't think any of the people that we looked at were supposed to be max guys, but people are making serious money. Was there any that you liked, any that you hated?
I think people just got after all those 2016 contracts ran up, those crazy deals. I think people just got bored and like wanted to give some more money away. And also with the 2021 free agency looming and it being poor, I think people just like wanted to get these guys in before, Derek White is getting 25 million from the Hawks, or something crazy like that. So if I had to choose one, I'd probably say my favorite deal was the OG deal. That was 4 years, 72, which is just, I mean, OG has only gotten better each year. I look today, he's only 23 years old. He ripped apart my heart when he hit a buzzer beater on my birthday.
Yeah. That was your birthday? Dang.
Yeah. It was a tough day. But anyway, it's funny because I still like really love him as a player. I know he's a big scarf guy as well. So I would say he's my top guy, just for his trajectory the last couple of years. And then it's funny, when I first saw the Kyle Kuzma 3 years, $40 million extension, first thing that came to my mind was just like, let's trash on Kyle Kuzma because that's the easy thing to do. But then as these other contracts came in, I start to think that this was kind of a good deal for the Lakers. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's 3 years, 40, right?
3 years, 40.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird to figure out how good Kyle Kuzma is as a player, because like he's had such like a weird bounce around and stuff, and like changing a role. Like, I don't know, he might have peaked as a rookie, but then like, I mean, people roast him, but like he was pretty good in the playoffs. Like he didn't have, like everyone was ready to, like, believe me, everyone was ready to jump at him and have for like the Kuzma game, but there never really was like the bad Kuzma game. Like pretty solid defense. So like, I mean, for the Lakers, just to keep him like at that much, I mean, I don't know. You probably weren't gonna get him much cheaper. I mean, it's kind of hard to see someone trading for like a $13 million Kuzma, but like it's kind of hard for someone to like for someone to really imagine Kyle Kuzma as like a young centerpiece at this point anyway. So like,
it's still a piece though, but that you can match to other contracts. Like let's say a D Rose or like an Evan Fournier becomes available at the deadline. That could be the central part of the contract for the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's like amazing, but it's kind of like whatever. I definitely don't think it's roast worthy at all.
I just think it was good for them to be the first deal to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the other deals. I mean, then it kind of becomes a steal. Like, there's no way, if the Clippers are paying Luke Kennard $64 million, and like it's kind of like all these Kuzma type players were getting paid more, even if they are better. It's still like I don't know. I don't 3 years 40 is like pretty fair, I guess. Maybe a bit much, but like I don't know if it'll like hamper them really.
Yeah. I mean, like you think about it, and he's probably a leading scorer off the bench or like a borderline starter guy. And 13 million is probably an overpay, but that's not terrible. Like to pay your 6-man 13 million a year, it like isn't insane. It's kind of just fine. Like it's okay.
Especially when Cleveland or Detroit gives him 18 million next year.
Yeah, exactly.
The one I thought was underratedly crazy, and I don't even hate him as a player, it is Derek White. What was it, like 80 million?
It was 4 years, 73 million.
All right, so
Wow.
not 80. I mean, same shit, but
Still.
But I mean, this is it's kind of like they expected. Like the hype was kind of all on him, where like it was like, all right, he's made Team USA, he's about to have his breakout year, and then it just like kind of didn't happen. He did play well in the bubble though, where he did kind of have like that mini breakout, but like it's the bubble, so I don't know if it's bubble Derek White. It could be good, but like I don't know, that seems like kind of a lot. I mean, he's also 26, so he's not like as young as like you kind of imagine he is, even though he hasn't played that many years. But yeah, I don't know.
No, we're gonna
the contract you expected, like if he had the breakout that he was expected to have, that like didn't come.
Yeah, it's weird. I just looked him up. He's 26. Like that's weird.
Oh. So you're going to be paying a 30-year-old Derek White $18 million a year.
But then again, the Derek White argument, in fairness, is let me pull up his bubble stats. I mean, starting from March, like through the bubble, he averaged 18 and 5 and 4 on like 50, 38, 85. So like if that's your Derek White, that's very good.
I definitely have some Spurs bias in there, definitely for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over the Spurs bias. Like people getting mad at me right now for having like the Spurs being the playing team over the Blazers. Like I'm always Spurs.
That is kind of crazy though.
I guess we could talk about that. I mean, I don't know. Like the Spurs kind of figured the Spurs. If the year extended, I mean, you could probably say it's for the Suns too. But like the Spurs had kind of figured it out. Like DeRozan had like his first like stretch of play where like the team was actually like statistically better with him on the court. Like LaMarcus Aldridge popping threes. Like Keldon Johnson like was freed in the bubble and he was pretty good. And then you got my boy Vassell. So it's like, I don't know, just like right in Spurs competence.
It's never a bad bet. Never.
I think except for last year.
I'm more interested in why do you think the Blazers aren't a playoff caliber team?
I mean, I mean, they're definitely caliber, but like to me, it's still like the same crap as last year, which is like, I think it all comes down to Lillard. Like, I don't really buy, like the only offseason addition that I care about, honestly, is Robert Covington. Like bringing back Cantor, I don't really care. I still think he's not, very good. And like Derek Jones Jr., like I like, but I'm surprised everyone is like, they got Derek Jones Jr. It's like, I don't know, like he's pretty like,
he's fine.
Whatever. Yeah, like I don't know, he's fine. So I don't know. It's just that like their defense has been so bad. Like even with like Nurkic's healthy and whatever, like they were still, even when they were like cooking in the bubble, I think they still like the worst defense. So that's kind of what it comes down to me. Like I don't know if Robert Covington is single-handedly saving that. Like all the stuff in principle, it's like Melo coming off the bench, but like I love Melo. I still don't know if he's like that. Again, like he's just kind of like a guy at this point.
Yeah.
So that's my shtick. I mean, they could easily make the playoffs. Off the same stuff as last year if just Lillard goes off. But like, I don't think they're necessarily like a shoe-in like they're maybe expected to be.
That's fair.
That's my hot take.
Okay.
I definitely don't think they're a shoe-in either. And I don't think I know their defense was bad, but like there's still going to be like a lot of bad defensive teams. And I know Portland has like not really had amazing defenders in the past. Like even back with like the LaMarcus Aldridge and Dame teams, and whoever their center was at the time. Like those teams weren't even that good defensively. I mean, I know Covington will definitely help them a lot, but they're also they're gonna get Collins back as well.
Yeah,
I know Nurkic like as watching Gordon Hayward and then seeing come back from his injury and then watching Nurkic come back from his injury was just like the two most like different things I've ever seen in my entire life. Nurkic just came back without a step, still like I mean he obviously his defense could be great, but I just still think he's always been an underrated guy. And I think it could be really tough for them to miss the playoffs.
yeah. I mean, also, I mean, yeah, Nurkic coming back is big. It's just kind of hard for me to see them necessarily making over the Lakers, Nuggets, Clippers, Suns, Mavs, Warriors, or Jazz. But if the Rockets drop out, I mean, that's easily like could be their spot. I'm just riding the Spurs, like figuring it out, confidence, pop train. And also like the Pelicans were pretty damn good with like fat Zion. So like a full year of Zion, then also Bledsoe and Adams. I mean, it's very gross. It's a very like ugly team. But like it's kind of I mean, if Zion is Zion, like I don't know. I feel like people kind of sleep on the Pelicans, except for like the NBA national TV schedule.
Yeah.
Like, the Pelicans, like I don't know. It's hard for me to like not. I mean, it's kind of every team in the West. It's kind of hard for me to not have in the playoffs. Like, like the Grizzlies too. Like they were the 8th seed all year. Like how are they not going to make it? But like, I don't know. I don't have any.
That was the hardest one for me to take out was the Grizzlies. I didn't have them in, and like they're going to take a leap this year. Like Ja is awesome, and
yeah, like Ja Morant's not done getting better. Like going off preseason bias, like he's gotten like 10 times better. I don't know if that's real, but like they should get better. Also, like
there's Clark or Meladin, you know.
It's tough. Okay, so I guess this leads me to what I was going to ask is your most overrated and underrated teams this season, and maybe it's the Spurs or the Blazers for you, Alex, but maybe it's not. And you can go either conference on this one. So I would give each of you a turn on the floor for that. Overrated and underrated teams, as far as where you think they'll finish in the standing. So maybe not looking all the way ahead to like playoff success, but just looking on where you think they'll be in the standings versus where like consensus is.
Okay. I mean, I noticed both you guys had the Raptors in like your top 3. I don't know if I had to choose like an overrated team. I mean, they just lost their 2 bigs. I know they got Baines back. Kyle Lowry.
You're the man that's repping OG. Like I don't know.
I still love OG, bro, and I still think he's gonna get better. But just like with the way they lost to the Celtics last year, and like just like Pascal like looking like Jaylen Brown's son. I mean, not Freddie's got his new deal too. I just like I'm a little worried about them, just a little bit, because I think they could just be behind, just like be just like slow, or just like not have enough offense, or Kyle Lowry. I'm a little worried.
Kyle Lowry could all of a sudden just like get old. Like he's 32, 33. Like he could all of a sudden just not be that Kyle Lowry. So
yeah, he's the one guy that's like defied the. I feel like the age 30 point guard cliff is just like the most
small point guard
thing. Yeah,
he's kind of had some injury issues. I might be making that up. I don't know. He's always like a little nicked up.
Yeah.
I don't know. We are doing for each conference or just overall?
I think
overall for time's sake.
All right. I mean, I kind of want to do like I don't know. Raptors are definitely one of my teams. I feel like are underrated, but I'm not gonna do that again. I don't know. Just like same. I kind of just value continuity a lot. I don't value like them losing Gasol that much, considering he wasn't that great for them last year. Though Ibaka is kind of big, and I kind of I don't know the Raptors. I guess I'll just do Raptors my underrated pick to go in. Like I don't know. Just like the Raptors, like they have the continuity. Like I expect like them just pull players out of their ass. I expect OG Anunoby to all of a sudden like average like 15, or Malachi Flynn to like be the next Fred VanVleet as Fred VanVleet takes like a leap to all-stardom. Like I don't know, the Raptors are just like kind of too good to necessarily take a step back in my eyes, while like I don't really see the guys they lost being that huge. And I think Aaron Baines is like a pretty solid center, though. Like I don't know, is them having like a less good backup center really gonna hurt them? Maybe this is Alex Len's breakout year too. Like who's to say? Like
Yeah, I think like and especially because Sam and I are both Celtics watchers, I feel like we underrate Pascal Siakam just because I'm like, admittedly, he was pretty horrendous in the playoffs, but he was really good in the regular season, like
yeah,
basically a top 20 lock for the regular season. And maybe that shouldn't be discounted either, that he just kind of sucked in his first playoffs as like the number one guy.
That's fair.
also, I mean, that could factor into them being better next season. Like a whole summer, not whole summer, it was like 2 months ago, of people being like, Pascal sucks. This is a guy that like made himself become good at like age, 24 or whatever. So like he could all of a sudden come out with something to add to his bag besides a spin move, where like all of a sudden he's way better. Like I don't know. The Raptors kind of better hope that's the case.
Yeah. I still think like continuity is going to be huge for them. They're still going to be a playoff team and very good. It's just like, especially like, and in this, I feel the same for the Celtics too. I think they're on the downward trajectory as well. Just like all the other teams getting better in the East, all the young teams getting better in the East. Like Russell Westbrook coming to the East. Now does Philly have it figured out? I don't know, but I think they're going to be at least better than last year. So like, I just think, and it's not process of elimination, but just like, everyone else below them is gonna at least get 2 to 5 more wins, in my opinion. So, I don't know.
Overrated. Wait, Ethan, what's your take?
Okay, I would go overrated team. This is really starting to hurt me to say this, but I'm a little worried that the Celtics are overrated because, and maybe I'm weighing too much like the current injuries they have. Like obviously when Kemba is healthy, they'll
I
get
feel
better.
like
But Kemba
every year
also,
the Celtics kind of like seem like they're gonna suck in preseason. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm kind of getting deja vu to like similar vibes last year, and then they were fine.
yeah, and maybe that's true. What I'm worried about with the Celtics is that they're relying so much on their bench, and it's particularly like all the young guys on their bench,
Yeah.
like taking that next step, whether it's Romeo Langford, Grant Williams, Robert Williams, the rookies coming in, like Neesmith has to come in and probably be a part of the rotation to be helpful. Even guys like Tremont Waters, and they made good moves. Like I think Jeff Teague was a great signing with like given what the Celtics could do with the cap and everything. Um, I'm just worried that injuries are going to be a problem, and they have like Kemba gets hurt, Romeo Langford gets hurt,
Yeah.
and a lot of these guys outside of Tatum and Brown kind of have battled injuries through most of their careers. And if that is an issue, like that could seriously derail them because I don't want, contrary to what's probably going to happen tomorrow, I don't want Marcus Smart and Javante Green as your starting backcourt. Like that's not going to
Yeah.
be that successful. So that's
Yeah.
that's my big worry with the Celtics right now.
I agree, especially when the third most common play we're going to see, or like the most common thing you're going to see on the bench is like Jeff Teague and Grant Williams pick and rolls.
Yeah.
That doesn't get me too excited.
I think you guys maybe. I mean, I kind of had them a little lower in my playoffs, but in my thing. But like, I don't know. I think you guys may be a little too like being a little too harsh. I mean, they're still pretty much the same team as last year, and now they're going to be adding. They're adding one of the guys, young guys they had has to like improve, and one of the guys they got should probably be good. And then you add in Jeff Teague and Tristan Thompson.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's like a lot of should be competence.
Yeah.
So,
That's the case. The case is like if you look back at the playoffs, like hey, they beat the Raptors with this team without Gordon, and that team is just getting Tristan Thompson and Jeff Teague instead of Cantor and Wanamaker.
Yeah, like Grant, like I don't know, like Grant Williams or Robert Williams, like one I feel has to become good, and like or like Romeo Langford had like one of those guys gotta click. I feel.
Yeah, that's true. And like Tatum and Brown, obviously, like they're still young. Like there's still more room for them to grow too.
That's kind of what people said, which is kind of true. Like this could be like Kemba being out could be weirdly good and fun for Tatum's development if he's just like forced to average like 28 a game.
Yeah, and play make too. Like hopefully
it'll be fun. It'll be fun for him, but the offense is gonna miss him. I guarantee that. The offense is gonna miss Kemba a lot.
And then my underrated team, and even though a lot of people think they're good, I mean I have the Nuggets as number one seed in the West, and That is well, one, it's because I think the Lakers and Clippers in particular are going to hammer the rest days more than anyone else far and away. So maybe that sacrifices some wins, but also I think the Nuggets are awesome. And that's Jokic being a top 10 player. I think Jamal Murray is going to be probably not bubble Jamal Murray, but he's going to be pretty close, I think. And Michael Porter, as weird of a human being is that he is insanely talented, and I think he probably earns that starting job as a small forward, or maybe you slide him to power forward, play Will Barton as small forward, and Paul Millsap comes off the bench. Like either way, and the Nuggets are also really deep. You have Paul Millsap, Gary Harris, Will Barton, Michael Porter.
Mhm.
I'm a big PJ Dozier guy, and he was good. He was good in the bubble too.
I mean, in Boston, man. Wish we had guys like him.
I love PJ Dozier, and you have like you still have a combination of upside with guys like Porter, Bol, RJ Hampton, Zeke Naji, both good picks too. And
And
then
you're
you have
forgetting my man Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yes.
yes.
He was like very good for the Rockets. He just like didn't fit like Morby ball. But like any Rockets fan will tell you, like he's good. And I
He's-
will tell you, as like the Nuggets being my third team, like Mason Plumlee is bad. Like I hate Mason Plumlee. Like even as a backup center, like I think that's a huge switch right there. It's
I
like
mean, he's literally the reason they lost to the Lakers in the Western
Yeah.
Conference Finals. Like he gave up 2 buzzer beaters.
yeah, I hate Mason Plumlee. I'm kind of like glad I was vindicated with like that, in the bubble, even though somehow the Pistons, I guess, missed that series. But like, I genuinely think the fact that like they have like a very good backup center now when Jokic comes off the floor, like that's huge.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I mean, yeah, I love the Nuggets. They're super deep. Like what I saw some other Nuggets guys say. Like I used to be big on the Nuggets like in Jokic's second year, but like I've kind of like gone off them because the fun of like the offense is kind of gone. But like it's gonna be back with like Bubble Murray and like Facundo Camposo and Hardenstein and like they're gonna like the way they're built, like they have to kind of be that end Porter, like they're gonna be fun on offense again too. Like I don't know, they yeah, it's kind of crazy to say like the Jokic Nuggets are gonna probably take a leap on offense. So yeah, I'm with you on that. That'll
For sure.
be my team too for time's sake.
Well, if Bubble Murray continues, I mean that doesn't reflect their regular season record, because I mean like I'm sure if you're a Nuggets fan before the playoff series, you're thinking like, yeah, like I mean like being a Nuggets fan is great. Like I don't know if we're ever gonna like make it all the way to the finals. You know, like Jamal Murray can maybe be an All-Star one day, but then the bubble happens, and now like I don't know where your expectations as a Nuggets fan can be, because like if he can keep going up, like the sky's the limit for them.
I think I saw that like he normally improves as the year goes on, and that does kind of carry over to next year. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, like you just said. I mean, part of it is the Nuggets have so many guys in the works. Like the way I just said that about like the Celtics, where one guy has to hit. Like one guy for the Nuggets has to hit, but like a guy for the Nuggets hitting is not like Romeo Langford hitting. That's like Bull hitting. All of a sudden you have like what the hell? Like if Bull like say Bull is like actually what Bull's supposed to be, like that's insane.
Yep.
Like,
yeah. It's the same with like Bol, Michael Porter, RJ Hampton. If any of them are like who they could be, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Sam, I don't know if we missed your underrated team. Do you have an underrated team?
Oh yeah. I wait, but before I say that, I do think who they lose losing Jeremy Grant is still going to be a tough hit for them, just because he's a switchable guy, plays defense. I just always loved him in OKC. But anyway, my underrated team. I mean, I feel like Washington is an easy one to go to. I know a lot of people are probably high on them after Westbrook, but this is the first time Westbrook is going to be, finally have no expectations. He's going to have like a proven star that he can defer to, who already played, and Beal already played with Wall. So I don't think it's going to be that much of a transition for him, having like a non-shooting point guard. He's coming back with getting reunited with Scott Brooks. He's got good shooters around him. You got Bertans. We were talking about Denny. You got Rui. I don't know. I just think I think they're sneaky deep, and I think they could like be the 5th or 6th seed, at least for part of like the regular season. And you're just like, wait, man, like Washington's like 21-12 right now. Like, how did that I just feel like something along the lines of them shocking people could happen.
I definitely agree. I mean, realize they had like, I mean, they were like the worst defensive team, but they were also like the best offensive team, just like with Beal. Um, and also like going off the bubble, like Thomas Bryant seemed like he had a breakout. Davis Bertans like goes crazy. Like, yeah, I mean, it's at least hard for me to see them not being like an easy, like at least an easy play in shooting. Like I think they should be pretty.
What's their over under on wins?
I'm not sure. I may have been.
It's got to be like 500.
Not sure what it is.
Yeah, I may hammer that.
Like Westbrook, Beal, Denny, Bertans, Thomas Bryant. Dude, that's like a beautiful lineup. That's 2 stars, literally one of the best shooters in the league. And then you have like a pretty solid center, and then like Denny is like the utility man, which is kind of like I don't know. It's pretty. That's pretty beautiful. I'm in on the Wiz kids as well. Also, you got
So they're projected to go 33 and there's only 72 games, so 33 and 39, right?
Yeah.
That's wow. I'm gonna on that. I think that's way too low. That's way too low in my opinion.
I feel like they're closer to a 500 team at least. Than
I agree.
I'd say 500 is about accurate, but like I can see them being low. Well, I mean, they were the 9th seed last year. That's like really cool. That's what Beal only even picking it up like after he got All-Star team, like, and even more so he's kind of trying to pick it up where he's like, oh, I don't want people to think I'm like the worst defender in the league, and I wasn't trying, which he definitely wasn't. But so I don't know, they could be pretty good.
I think they could be better than the Hawks. They could be better than the Pacers. They could be better than the Magic.
They could. Yeah. They definitely could be.
Yeah, I think they could be in that like that Raptors.
It's a good point.
Celtics group.
I have them right now as in my playoff thing as like below the Pacers and Magic. Like, yeah, they could easily be like a 7 seed, I'd say. Though at the same time, I feel like I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to know where to place Westbrook because like Westbrook was kind of like looking on the decline until this year with the Rockets, which was like pure Morey ball, like hyper optimized basketball. Yeah. I don't know if the Wizards will be. So we'll see if like he all of a sudden like takes a little mini step back. Like I saw him brick a mid-range jumper in the preseason game. I was like, I hate it. But, yeah.
We'll see. Okay, so interesting standing looks. And I feel like we all picked we went kind of around the board with teams, which is interesting. And I think the last the last one I want to ask you guys, we're not going to do MVP conversation because I feel like there's only like a handful of names you always think about there. Most improved player.
Ooh.
I want to hear each of yours. I guess so mine is DeAndre Ayton. I think that Chris Paul is so perfect for that team in a lot of ways. And I think obviously it's going to help Devin Booker, but I think Ayton is really he was good in the second half of last year and in the bubble. He was like legitimately a half decent defender, gets a ton of rebounds, is just an absolute force inside. And I think that's going to carry over. And then you have Chris Paul just feeding him and Devin Booker taking pressure off. I feel like he's going to just have such an easier life down there. And he'll also continue to get better because he's only like 22. So Ayton's my pick for most improved.
Yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I mean, I think like especially Chris Paul's just gonna like light a fire under his ass and like not let him be like passive Aiden. So that's good. I don't know. This is something I don't really think about. Let me look at the young players.
Here, I'll go while you look.
I feel like this one's harder, which is good.
No, this is definitely tough. I'm thinking
like think of someone that's like kind of not good that like
exactly.
Good.
No, Aiden's a great choice just because he's gonna get like that Marcin Gortat, John Wall treatment where he's just like making. I mean, like I still think Aiden's really good, but like he'll be able to elevate his status, even if that doesn't truly reflect Aiden as a player. Maybe I think right now like Shea comes to my mind. I know like it can be kind of tough in like his team might be the worst team in the West next year, but that man could be averaging like 26, like 25, like 6 and 7. Like if like that's like best possible scenario, he could also be like a 25 and 5 guy. I think Shea is definitely a possibility. I also like Mitch Robinson. It depends on if this whole Noel situation, because Noel could be the starter with Thibodeau, but I think Noel's hurt right now. So If Mitch Robb comes, I mean, I think he had no fouls in his last preseason game, right?
Yeah. In 27,
So,
I mean, it was against like Darius Garland and no one else, but still.
I still think that's still an accomplishment for him, though.
I mean,
yeah.
That looking at the Knicks, I was kind of thinking RJ, except like this preseason improvement could be fake. Mitch, if he starts, like I think that might be my pick too, just because like this is a dude that like when he plays, he like rates fair, like not even like Knicks goggles. Like this is a dude that like he every advanced stat probably overrates him. Like he's pretty good when he plays, and that's been like off the bench with like Dennis Smith and for like David Fizdale. Like he could be playing like if he's starting and like they're able to fix his foul trouble, like all of a sudden you have like a very good starting center when he was like a backup. So yeah. I like that pick a lot. Shea, I kind of at first didn't like that pick, but like thinking about like this is a dude that played point guard like most of the time with the Clippers, and then like all last year was off ball. So like now he could like put that together, and then like he's gonna get his numbers because he's like the only guy on the Thunder that's like can play basketball now. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up. I mean, we covered a lot. I feel like we talked about a lot of teams and names. Like, how many people are really hyping up the Spurs as we get to opening night? I feel like that's good that we kind of like we touch on them, Blazer, all these different teams, players. I think this is a cool, different look. Okay, last question though. Since it's tonight, who do you have winning each of the two games tonight?
I have Warriors Lakers, but like realistically it'll probably be Nets Lakers. Like I'm rooting for the Warriors. I'm rooting against the Nets, but like I don't really see the Nets not winning, but like I'd like to see that. So
yeah, Warriors are without Draymond tonight. And again, like this isn't like Clay got hurt like at the beginning of free agency and they had the time to plan around this. Like they had this team like built around Steph and Clay, and then Clay obviously gets hurt last month. So, and I think the Nets are. I mean, I only watched the preseason, and they look good.
It was so good. It was stupid.
They look good. KD looks. I was watching him. I forgot he tore his Achilles. And I didn't know how well Dinwiddie and Karras and all those guys would fit in when they came back, but Karras, prime bench guy now. Dinwiddie looks fire off ball. Like I don't know. They're another underrated team, and I think they're gonna smoke the Warriors. And then honestly, I'll probably just go Lakers.
Lakers are the Lakers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Lakers. I mean, as I really want to say Warriors just because Andrew Wiggins and everything, but I mean they're probably. I think for the same reasons you guys said, plus just the net. I think the Nets just have. I mean, they have more talent, especially in their starting lineup right now.
They're so deep. Like even if KD didn't look like he was KD, like even if Kyrie and KD suck, like you have Karis LeVert going up against like Brad Wanamaker.
Yeah. Hey, don't sleep on my boy Brad though.
Yeah, well, that's low key something that could hurt the Celtics. I forgot about who they missed. Like, I think Brad Wanamaker to Jeff Teague's a pretty big downgrade, though.
For a second, I thought you were trying to include him in the most improved conversation. I was like, hold on.
Brad Wanamaker, from Brad Stevens, he's like gonna pop off.
All right, I think that about wraps it up. We got basketball in an hour, so
yes, we do.
And
yes, we do.
Here we go. If you get the chance, you should definitely follow us on Twitter. Sam, what is your Twitter at?
I'm just at Sam Marram, my name.
Okay, at Sam Marram. I'm at ETHman43. You probably follow at The Real Boodum, but if you haven't yet, give him a follow.
Living legend.
And there we go. So yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and good luck in your opening night of NBA action. I know we're fired up. So yeah, see you guys soon.
Good job, guys.
Wait, were you recording?